I never thought a hospital hallway could feel this cold. Not the kind of cold you complain about, the kind that bites at your bones and crawls into your thoughts, whispering that something irreversible is happening behind a door you can't open. That door, the one to my mother's room, stood in front of me like a wall between two worlds, and my sister, Emily, stood guard over it like she owned the air I breathed. "Emily, move," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I just want to see Mom." "You're not going in there," she snapped, her hand gripping the door handle so tightly her knuckles turned white. I stared at her, stunned. We had fought before. What siblings hadn't? But this was different. This wasn't an argument. This was a line she had drawn, and she was daring me to cross it. "Emily, Mom is dying. She's resting," she said sharply, "and she doesn't want to be disturbed, especially by you." By me? The words hit with the force of a slap. "What are you talking about?" I demanded. "She always asks for me." "Not anymore." Emily's eyes were red, not from crying, but something harder, something defensive, like she was terrified I'd discover something. I felt the tension thicken between us, buzzing in the air like static. Nurses walked by, machines beeped behind nearby curtains, but none of it registered. Only my sister's body blocking the door like a locked gate. "Mom asked for me earlier today," I said quietly. "Nurse Patel told me." Patel misheard. "Mom's barely conscious. You're lying." She flinched, but recovered quickly. "I said you're not going in, and Mom doesn't need stress right now." "Emily, I'm not the stress," I shot back. "You are." Her eyes narrowed. "Don't push me, Noah." But I already had. Because the truth was simple. My mother was dying, and my sister, my only sibling, was keeping me from her. Mom had been admitted 4 days earlier, her heart failing rapidly after years of battling an autoimmune disease. We all knew the end was near. We had talks no family wants to have: hospice care, comfort medication, last wishes. Mom had been clear on one thing: I want both of my children with me, no matter what. But then, something changed. Something in Emily. She had begun whispering with doctors, positioning herself between me and Mom, intercepting updates, insisting she'd handle everything. She even told visitors that I didn't want to be involved. It was surreal, like watching someone rewrite a story you'd lived your whole life. The bizarre part? Mom barely ever spoke when I visited. She drifted in and out of consciousness, but whenever I approached, Emily was suddenly in the room, hovering, monitoring, controlling. And now she had escalated to this: physically blocking me. Just as I opened my mouth to argue again, footsteps approached behind me. "Noah." I turned to see Nurse Patel walking briskly toward us, her expression tense. "What's going on? I saw your sister rush into the room earlier." Emily's eyes flashed with mourning, as if telepathically begging Patel to shut up. "She doesn't want him in," Emily said quickly. "Mom needs rest." Patel frowned. "That's not what your mother said to me 15 minutes ago." Emily stiffened. "I see," I said, but her voice cracked at the end. Barely, but I caught it. "Emily, you need to let him in." "No," Emily said, voice rising. "You don't understand." Then, she locked the door. Right in front of us. She twisted the privacy latch from the inside, slammed the door shut, and leaned against it, using her entire body weight. "You're not going in," she repeated. "Neither of you." I froze. Patel gasped. A nearby doctor turned his head. And that was the moment, that exact second when fear crept into my gut. Not fear of losing my mom. That fear had been with me for days. No. This was fear that something else was happening behind that door. Something Emily was desperate, borderline frantic to hide. Patel stepped forward. Emily, open this door right now. No, Emily shouted. If he goes in, everything falls apart. Everything. What falls apart? I demanded. What are you hiding? Her breath quickened. She looked back at the door as if something inside was haunting her. Then she whispered, she wasn't supposed to wake up yet. My heart stopped. Wasn't supposed to? What do you mean by that? But before Emily could answer, a sound drifted from inside the room. A soft, slow voice. A voice I knew better than my own heartbeat. No. My mother. Whispering my name. Alive. Conscious. Calling for me. My chest tightened. Mom? I breathed. Emily's expression shattered. She wasn't supposed to wake up, she repeated, but this time it came out like a confession, breaking, bleeding, terrified. Then she did something that chilled every inch of me. She slid down the door and started crying. Not gentle crying, sobbing, as if the world she had built was collapsing in real time. Another nurse ran over, used a staff override key, and unlocked the door. It swung open, with a quiet click, and everything that happened next felt like a movie in slow motion. The room was dim, machines beeped softly. Mom lay in the bed, oxygen tubes hooked to her nose, her frail chest rising and falling with shallow breaths. But her eyes? Her eyes were open, and they moved straight to me. The moment she saw me, tears filled them. No. She whispered again. I rushed forward, Patel close behind. Emily stayed in the hallway, covering her face, shaking. I reached Mom's bedside and took her hand gently. I'm here, I said, voice breaking. Mom, I'm right here. Her hand tightened around mine with surprising strength for someone so weak. She opened her mouth to speak, struggling, pushing, trying to get out words that her body didn't have the strength for. Mom, you don't have to talk, I whispered. It's okay. I'm here. But she shook her head. She needed to tell me something urgent, something she had been fighting her way back to consciousness to say. And when she finally spoke, her voice was barely a breath. Your sister, she lied. My skin went cold. Mom swallowed painfully. Her eyes locked onto mine, wide, scared, pleading. Noah? She took something. She changed something. And she thinks I don't know. My pulse pounded in my ears. What did she do? Mom, what did Emily do? Her hand trembled. Her voice cracked. And then, it's about my will. My heart dropped. Patel instinctively leaned closer. Mom was fading fast. Every second mattered. Mom, tell me, I said urgently. Tell me what she changed. Tears spilled down her cheeks. She stole the letter, the real one, the one meant for you. I froze. A letter? A real one? What was she talking about? Before I could ask another question, Mom reached with her other hand, grabbing my wrist with surprising intensity. Her voice was faint, but every word cut like a blade. Don't trust her. The truth is hidden in the house. I leaned closer, desperate to catch every syllable. Where in the house, Mom? What truth? She opened her eyes wide, fighting to stay awake. Your father left something for you. Not her. My breath caught. Dad? Dad had died 3 years ago. Why would he leave something hidden? And why would Emily hide it? Mom struggled for air, gasping, clutching, fading. Patel stepped in, checking her vitals.
"Mrs. Carter, don't strain yourself." But Mom lifted a trembling finger pointing toward the doorway where Emily stood, ashamed, panicked, caught. Mom's final whisper carried the weight of years of secrets. "Find the green box before she does." My heart thundered. "Green box? Where?" I leaned in. My voice was barely a breath. "Mom, where is it?" Her lips parted. "It's in the..." The monitor beeped loudly. Her breath hitched. Her eyes fluttered, and she slipped back into unconsciousness. "Mom! Mom!" I cried, but Patel gently pulled me back. "She's alive," she softly, "but she needs..."
The hallway outside Mom's hospital room felt like a battlefield, the kind where no one carries weapons, but everyone bleeds. Emily stood frozen. She didn't cry. She didn't speak. She just stared at me like I had suddenly become the enemy she had been preparing for. And maybe I had. Because everything Mom told me in those final moments had ripped open a truth Emily never wanted exposed. I stepped toward her, my blood running hot. "What green box?" I demanded. Emily backed up instantly. I don't know what you're talking about." Her voice trembled. A first. I took another step. "Mom said you stole something. A letter, something from Dad. You changed something. What did you do?" She shook her head violently. "Noah, you don't understand." "Then make me understand," I barked. Her shoulders collapsed, and for a moment, she looked like a scared child instead of the sister who had locked me out of my own mother's final minutes. But then, her expression shifted, hardened. "I'm done talking," she whispered. She pushed past me and fled down the hall. But I didn't follow her, because right now, Mom was still alive. Barely. And she needed me. I stayed with her for hours, holding her hand, listening to her shallow breaths, watching the life slowly fade from her body like a candle fighting its last flicker. Whenever Emily tried to come near, I blocked her, just like she had blocked me. She didn't argue, she didn't fight, she just turned away silently. And when the sun barely lifted over the Seattle skyline the next morning, Mom took her last breath. I felt it the moment it happened, the way her fingers loosened, the peacefulness that washed over her face, like a long battle finally ended. "Goodbye, Mom," I whispered. My voice broke. Patel gently placed a hand on my shoulder. "I'm so sorry, Noah." I barely heard her, because all I could think about was Mom's final message. Find the green box before Emily does. The house that held secrets. Mom's house, our childhood home, felt like it was holding its breath when I unlocked the door later that afternoon. The moment I stepped inside, memories slammed into me. Dad laughing at the kitchen table, Mom humming in the garden, Emily and I fighting over the last popsicle in the freezer. But now the air felt different, heavier, filled with unspoken truths. I searched every room. The kitchen, the attic, Mom's sewing room, the basement, even the crawl space Dad used to hide Christmas gifts. No green box. Not even a hint of one. Until I reached Dad's study. The door was slightly open, not fully, just enough to look suspicious. I pushed it open, and instantly I knew Emily had been here. Drawers were pulled out, papers were scattered, a picture frame lay face down on the floor, glass cracked. She had been searching for something. The same something I was. I bent down to pick up the fallen photograph.
It was of Dad and me from when I won a middle school essay contest. He was beaming with pride, his hand on my shoulder. But the frame felt heavier than usual. I flipped it round, and behind the picture, taped carefully to the cardboard backing, was an envelope. My breath caught. In Dad's handwriting, "For Noah. If anything ever happens to me." My pulse hammered. As I tore it open, inside was a single sheet of paper, yellowed slightly at the edges, but unmistakably Dad's. And what I read made my heart stop. Dad's letter. My son, if you are reading this, it means I didn't get the chance to tell you something important, something your sister must never be allowed to change. I love both of my children, but I know Emily struggles. She has always believed the world owes her more than it does. I fear her resentment will twist the truth after I'm gone. Noah, I want you to have the house. All of it. Every room, every memory, every piece of land it sits on. You were the one who stood by me when my illness worsened. I'm proud of the man you've become. My will reflects this, and the final letter to the lawyer confirms it. But I am writing this second letter because I fear Emily will try to manipulate the documents, or you. If someone tampers with my will, look in the green box. The truth is inside. Love, Dad. My body cold. Emily did tamper with the will. And the green box, the one Mom mentioned, held proof. But where was it? I searched the study again. Nothing. I checked behind bookshelves, under rugs, behind the desk panels. Nothing. Until I remembered something. Dad had a habit. A weird one. Every time something truly valuable needed hiding, he put it in the one place no thief or family member would look. Behind Mom's old piano. My chest tightened as I quietly moved the heavy oak instrument forward. And there, covered in dust, was a small metal forest green box. Exactly where Dad would hide it. Exactly where Emily hadn't checked yet. My hands shook as I lifted it. It was locked, but Dad had also taught me something else. No lock in this house is without a key, and no key in this house is without a story. Where was the story? I scanned the room again. Then I saw it. A book on the shelf pulled slightly forward. Dad's favorite novel. I opened it. Inside the carved-out inner pages was the key. I unlocked the box. What was inside? There were 3 things, and each one hit harder than the last. The original will, untouched, signed, stamped, clear as daylight. The house belonged to me, not Emily, not shared, me. A second letter from Dad, explaining that he caught Emily snooping through his papers months before he died. He didn't confront her because he wanted peace in his final months, but he knew. He knew she'd try something after he was gone. A flash drive, labeled video proof, for lawyer. My throat tightened. Dad recorded something. Something he wanted the lawyer, and maybe the court, to see. My hands trembled as I plugged the drive into my laptop. The video opened. Dad sat at his study desk, pale and thin, but eyes bright. He spoke softly. If someone is trying to change my will, My son, Noah, has the true documents. Emily, I love you, but you cannot be trusted with this. I'm sorry. The video ended. My jaw clenched. My father had predicted everything, including Emily's betrayal. Emily arrives. The front door slammed downstairs. My stomach dropped. Noah! Emily's voice echoed through the house. I know you found something. We need to talk. Her footsteps stormed towards the study. I stood up, gripping the green box tightly. She stopped in the doorway, panting, furious, desperate. Her eyes locked onto the box. You found it, she whispered, voice breaking. I said nothing. She stepped in slowly. Noah, you don't understand why I did what I did. Then explain, I said. Her hands shook. When Dad died, I was drowning. I had debt. I had medical bills. I had nothing. And Mom, she always loved you more. That's not true, I said quietly. Yes, it is, she snapped. And you know it. You were the perfect child, the favorite, the golden son. I swallowed hard. So you